Another week in fall, another stacked lineup of upcoming PlayStation 4 games. This week is a little bit lighter than some of your heavier weeks, however, it is rounded out by some highly anticipated games. We've got 7 brand new PlayStation 4 games releasing this week to go over, so let's just get right into it. First up, probably my most anticipated game this week, and that's because I'm very nostalgic with this franchise, and that is Mega Man 11. Yes, Capcom is finally bringing Mega Man back with a brand new entry. They have been showing the Blue Bomber a little bit more love recently with the Mega Man Legacy collections as well as the Mega Man X collection, but now we have a brand new game with Mega Man 11, and what I like about 11 over 9 and 10, while 9 and 10 were really good games, at the same time, I wasn't a big fan of how they retained that old school look. I wanted a more modernized Mega Man look, and that's what we're getting out of Mega Man 11. It's gonna retain that classic gameplay style of the Mega Man games, but it features a 2.5D graphic style with 3D polygonal characters and 2D environments. You'll once again play as Mega Man, go up against various bosses, and attempt to stop Dr. Wily from using a double gear system Dr. Light invented based on research he conducted many years before. It's gonna feature your traditional linear gameplay style, and if you're not completely sold on Mega Man 11, if you don't know what to expect, I would recommend you to check out the Mega Man 11 demo that's available right now. It gives you a good idea of what to expect in the final product, and I would say the demo left me pretty pleased from a presentation and gameplay standpoint. Mega Man 11 drops on October 2nd. Next up, we have another game that's been slowly building in anticipation, and that is Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Now, I've talked quite a bit about Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise, and what it is Fist of the North Star with gameplay reminiscent of Sega's Yakuza franchise. That sounds pretty good on the surface, and by the way, this is another game that has a demo available, so if you want to get a little bit of a taste for the game, I would recommend you to go ahead and play that demo. But it will be an action-adventure game, and again, mechanically, it will be similar to Yakuza. You'll explore a city, fight through various enemies in beat-em-up style of gameplay, and you'll have quick-time events and various mini-games. Expect this to be an experience filled with a lot of variety. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is dropping on October 2nd.
Exploding five-finger strike! Bone Demolisher! Twin Execution!
Next up, we have a game that has been recently building up in anticipation, and that is ASTRO Bot Rescue Mission. Now, ASTRO Bot Rescue Mission was a game that was originally on my radar. However, with recent tweets and recent statements made about ASTRO Bot Rescue Mission saying that this game was going to be the defining experience on PlayStation VR, that it was a game that was going to get people really interested into VR, that definitely piqued my interest. And if you don't know what ASTRO Bot Rescue Mission is, it's a VR platformer, and it's developed exclusively for VR, so you won't be able to play this game if you don't own PlayStation VR. It's being done by Sony Studio Japan, and it has you take control of Astro, the Captain Bot, and you go on an epic VR rescue mission to save your fellow crew who are dispersed all over space. The game is set to take full advantage of PSVR to invigorate the platforming genre with gameplay unfolding around you in 360 degrees. Your character reacts instantly, and jumps are ultra precise thanks to the increased depth of PSVR. While seated, moving your body lets you lean around corners to get a better view on the action and discover secret paths. You can also use your body to weave through the scenery and create a path for your character. While I think statements of this being the defining VR experience might be a little bit too excessive, because there have been very good VR titles. Look at Firewall Zero Hour, that's a recent release that I was a big fan of. However, the statements made about ASTRO Bot Rescue Mission definitely has piqued my interest more so for the title, and it'll be dropping on October 2nd.
One of the big moments in the game is when you get to run along the arm of this giant robot. And these kind of moments are really, really powerful in VR because of the sheer scale of these characters. As you get off this giant robot's arm and you start jumping from leaf to leaf, the gameplay is actually seen from underneath, and you have this verticality that is unique to VR and especially powerful for platform games. Boss fights in action games are always like a really, really big, important moment. There is this gorilla on top of a building, and it is a combination of jumping and punching, but also using the gadgets as a complement for you and Astro to work as a team to defeat these massive beasts.
Next up, we have Valthirian Arc Hero School Story. So we have a pretty interesting RPG being released this week, and it's being touted as a grand RPG story where you can forge alliances with one of 5 rival queendoms to influence the fate of Valthyria and experience different endings. Don't expect this to be a super expansive experience, but it could be a title that surprises some of us. I don't imagine that a lot of people will be picking up this game at launch, but if you're into lower end RPGs, this might be one to keep your eyes on for a pickup down the line, especially when it's on sale.
Champions of the cherish your memories. All of my dreams for you.
Moving on from that, we have probably what many would consider to be the biggest game release of the week, and that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yes, Assassin's Creed is back once again. 1 year after the release of Assassin's Creed Origins, we have a brand new game in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it does look like Odyssey is a little bit more divisive than I had originally thought. Recently in the comment section of our videos, I've noticed a lot of you guys tout Assassin's Creed Odyssey as seemingly to be just DLC for Assassin's Creed Origins, and you're not willing to pay full price on it. And I can definitely understand why. Remember that I've always been touting how Ubisoft games go on sale rather quickly. If you remember, go back to October of 2017 when Assassin's Creed Origins was released. Of course, that game released at $60, but just a month after that game's release, during Black Friday, that game was already 50% off for $29.99. So it's become very hard for me to recommend Ubisoft titles at a full price, and we've seen it with other Ubisoft games like Far Cry 5. That game became very cheap very quickly, and at the very least with AC Odyssey, I do expect this game to once again be $29.99, maybe $34.99 at Black Friday. And if you're not completely sold on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, how can you justify dropping $59.99 at that point? But the game itself does look rather good. If you did enjoy Assassin's Creed Origins, it looks like it's building upon from that greatly. It will feature generally a similar gameplay style where it's kind of a hybrid between Assassin's Creed and an RPG. You're gonna have a bigger influence on naval combat. You're gonna be able to pick your gender, so a lot of new elements are being introduced in AC Odyssey, and that is something to note. But fundamentally, it does seem very similar to AC Origins, so I see where a lot of you guys are coming from when you call this game just DLC to Assassin's Creed Origins. In a different timeline, maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey would have just been a significant expansion pack, but hey, we've got a full game. It looks pretty good, and it will have a pretty sizable season pass as well, with 2 single-player expansions, and on top of that, with the Season Pass, you will also be getting Assassin's Creed 3 HD, a remastered version of AC3 for the PlayStation 4. That'll be coming sometime down the line on top of those 2 massive single-player expansions, so it looks like Ubisoft is going to stay rather committed to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They said the same thing about Assassin's Creed Origins, and they stayed committed for a little bit, and then they announced AC Odyssey. They have confirmed that there will be no new Assassin's Creed game in 2019. Rather, they will be focused on improving Odyssey as a game and adding new content to that game, and I think that's the route to go. I think you shouldn't be releasing Assassin's Creed games every year. Rather, you take 1 year off, and for those that are super invested into Assassin's Creed, you can release various DLC content, and they can stay enamored into the experience. But for those of us that just want to play the main game and then move on to the next game, I think it's better to let the franchise breathe, get a year off, and then come back stronger 2 years later with a brand new release. I've always been vocal about that, but unfortunately, we didn't get that with AC Origins. Still, Assassin's Creed Odyssey will be dropping on October 5th. Moving on from that, we've also got the release of Party Crashers. Party Crashers is touted as a fast-paced battle racing game with a retro-future aesthetic for 1 to 4 players. It includes over 50 game modes and almost endless customization. Party Crashers is said to be amazingly fun out of the box, and it lets you create your own fun. The game will be arriving to the PlayStation 4 on October 4th. And lastly, we have a game that's been going really under the radar, and that is Freaky Awesome. Kind of a quirky name for a game, but Freaky Awesome is a hectic action roguelite. You explore a randomly generated old factory fighting weird monsters and avoiding traps. You'll have toxic waste that'll make you mutate, gaining different powers every time, and you'll need to adapt to your mutations to survive. This was a game that was released on PC a while back and has a mixed reception over there, but only based on a little over 100 reviews. So it looks like on the PC as well, this is a game that not too many people checked out. Hopefully on the PlayStation 4 it can turn out to be something decent. Probably not a game a ton of people will check out at launch. Maybe down the line, just like Hero's School Story, it'll be one that some add to their wishlist and pick up on sale. But that is gonna wrap up this video. Again, we've got 7 new game releases. In my personal opinion, we do have some heavy hitters this week. We've got Mega Man 11. I'm very excited for that, and I hope that game does well commercially, because Capcom has said if Mega Man 11 does well, that'll open the door for more Mega Man titles, and you guys know that I want a Mega Man X9. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise looks pretty good. If you're into Yakuza, that's probably gonna be right up your alley, with a different aesthetic being a Fist of the North Star game. For those of you with PlayStation VR, people are hyping up Astro Bot Rescue Mission. That might be one to check out, and I know a lot of you guys love Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed has been one of my favorite franchises for a very long time, but honestly speaking, if you can hold off for a little bit, I think your best route would be waiting until Black Friday and then picking it up for $29.99, because I could very well see it at that price come that time. That's gonna conclude this video. Let us know what games you're planning to pick up this week. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.